What's going on, everybody? 2021 just started, and in the year ahead of us, we have a great set of films coming out as long as they come out and don't get delayed. So I figured it's a good time for me to do my 10 most anticipated movies of the year. So let's get into it. So starting off with some honorable mentions. Uncharted, probably my favorite video game franchise, and so it has a movie coming out. So naturally I'm fairly anticipating it, but it sounds like it's had some production issues, so we'll see. The new MCU movie Shang-Chi, it sounds interesting. It sounds like it's got some kung fu elements and it's MCU, so I'm all in. The Eternals, another MCU movie. Don't really know what to expect from it, but it's MCU, and we'll see. Tom and Jerry, one of my favorite cartoons growing up as a kid, is getting a full-length movie. So I'm excited. Also, I thought the trailer looked really fun. Venom 2. I'm not a big fan of the first Venom movie, but I'm always excited for superhero movies, and this one's gonna have Carnage, so I'm excited. The Green Knight, which is a new King Arthur movie. I love movies that have swords and medieval type stuff, and also stuff about King Arthur. So I'm definitely excited for this one. Old, which is the new M. Night Shyamalan movie. I know he hasn't had a great run in the last 10, 15 years or so, but I'm always going to be hopeful that he's going to get it right and give us a good movie, so I'm excited. And then last for the honorable mentions would be Snake Eyes. I love G.I. Joe as a kid, and Snake Eyes is one of my favorite characters from the show. And I enjoyed the 2 movies we've gotten, so I'm excited to see what they do next. Alright, and number 10 on my list is Black Widow. Right now, I'm just excited to see a new MCU movie. It's about 1.5 years since we got our last movie, which was Spider-Man: Far From Home, I believe. But specifically for this movie, I'm excited because it really has nothing to lose. Obviously, Black Widow died in Endgame. It's not going to be worried about setting up future movies, and it'll just be focused on making this movie good. And Black Widow has always been an intriguing character, and she certainly deserves to get her own movie. So I'm excited to see where they go with it. Alright, and coming in at number 9 will be Quiet Place Part 2. Feels like it's been forever since we were supposed to get this film. Well, when it first got delayed, it was like a month away. But I really enjoyed the first Quiet Place movie. And it sounds like pretty much everyone's back for this one. So I think it has all the means to be a good movie. I love horror movies, and I'm always going to be excited to see what the new hit movies are every year. And I felt like the Quiet Place 1 in 2018 added a lot of freshness to the horror genre, and hopefully this one can do the same thing. Also, Cillian Murphy's in this movie, and he's one of my favorite actors, so it's always cool to see him in new movies. And coming in at number 8 is The Last Duel, directed by Ridley Scott, written by Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and it's also starring them as well. I don't know too much about this movie, but it sounds like it's a medieval type movie, and like I mentioned earlier, I love movies like that. Also, Ridley Scott's done a lot of movies, great movies like this, like Gladiator, obviously, and a personal favorite of mine, Kingdom of Heaven. So I'm just really excited to see another project from Ridley Scott and see how this one turns out. At number 7, we have another horror film, and this is The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. Or I don't know if 3 is in the title. But the Conjuring universe has been kind of hit or miss, with some of the movies being good, some being alright, and some of them just being awful. But all the Conjuring films with the Conjuring title in the movie have been good. Obviously, Conjuring 1 and 2 are amazing in my opinion. Even though this one's not directed by James Wan like the first 2 were, I'm still hopeful this one will be good. Also, Ed and Lorraine Warren appeared to be back for this film. And they're one of the best things about the first 2 Conjuring films, so that should make this movie more intriguing and entertaining. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm always excited for new horror films. Alright, and coming in at number 6 on the list is Jackass IV. I always loved the Jackass franchise, and I can't wait for the fourth and likely final installment of the franchise. It sounds like at least Steve-O and Johnny Knoxville are back for this one. But hopefully most of the original cast is back. But honestly, I'm just super excited that we're getting this movie. I never thought we would. After Jackass 3, it just sounded like the franchise was done. But I just can't wait to see the fourth one this year. All right, and coming in at number 5 on my list is the new Suicide Squad movie directed by James Gunn, who obviously did the Guardians of the Galaxy films in the MCU. And this movie appears to be right up his alley. It's very similar to Guardians of the Galaxy. And he's bringing all of his, crew from Guardians of the Galaxy with him, it seems. And there's also some new cast additions for the movie that look really solid. But particularly for this movie, I'm just really confident we're going to get a solid and entertaining Suicide Squad film, as it seems all the pieces are in the right place for this one. This movie should be funny, entertaining, because James Gunn's a great director, and he did a great job in the MCU. And I think this movie has the potential for him to do even better. Number 4 on my list is the new James Bond film, No Time to Die. Like Quiet Place Part 2, it feels like we've been waiting forever for this movie, as it was like a month and a half away from release when it got delayed. And we still probably won't get it on its scheduled release date this year. But I'm going to remain optimistic. And when I had first seen the trailer in the movie theater for this movie, I had never seen a James Bond film before, but I thought it looked really cool, so I actually went out and bought a Blu-ray set of all the James Bond films. And so I tried to watch all the Daniel Craig ones in time for the original release. Obviously, it got delayed, so I've had a lot more time to watch almost all of the James Bond films. And I've really had time to build my excitement for this movie. And this is Daniel Craig's last time playing James Bond, obviously, so hopefully he goes out with a bang. I thought the trailer looked great. It looks like a solid action movie. And so I'm confident this will be a good send-off to Daniel Craig, but we'll have to see. Coming in at number 3 on my list is Spider-Man 3, the new Tom Holland MCU Spider-Man film. Spider-Man is my favorite Marvel superhero. I'll be always anticipating a new movie with him in it. But even more so, this one's supposed to get involved with all the Spider-Man multiverse stuff, and apparently they're bringing back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield to reprise their roles as Spider-Man, as well as Doc Ock and a few others. And so I grew up watching the original Sam Raimi trilogy of Spider-Man films with Tobey Maguire, and the first Spider-Man film is easily one of my favorite movies of all time. And I'm super excited to see Tobey Maguire play Spider-Man again. Ever since Spider-Man 3 in 2007, I've been waiting just to see Tobey Maguire reprise this role, and it appears that we're getting it. I'm not sure in what fashion, how long he'll be in the movie, but I'm just super excited that we're seeing him as the character again, so that's why it's so high on my list. It's also cool to see all the other characters back, but particularly for Tobey Maguire, as he's just the Spider-Man I grew up with, the Spider-Man I love, and I can't wait to see him play Spider-Man again. So at number 2 on my list is Justice League Snyder Cut. After the disaster that was the 2017 Justice League, where obviously they kicked Zack Snyder off partway through filming, and they brought in Joss Whedon to film the movie, to finish it, and the movie just turned out as just this incomplete mess. Warner Bros. Is letting Zack Snyder come in and really finish his vision for the movie, and so hopefully this will be the Justice League film that we've always wanted. And I've always really enjoyed Zack Snyder films. He's very stylized and unique as a director. There's always great action scenes. And I feel he makes great movies. And even in his weaker movies, I still thought they were entertaining, intriguing, and there were some ideas in there that I liked. So I'm very confident that this movie will be at least better than the original Justice League, as that movie was awful. And that's really all you can ask for this one, is just something better than what we got before. And it seems like this movie is going to be really epic and long. It's going to release in, I think, episodes on HBO Max. And I tend to love long, epic movies, so I'm all in. All right, and easily coming in at number one on my list is Dune, um, directed by Denis Villeneuve. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. This movie is based off the incredible book. Um, the cast looks great. The director is amazing. The trailer looks awesome. And even Hans Zimmer is doing the score, and he's done some incredible scores over the years, and this one should be the same. And pretty much all signs point to this movie being incredible. As I mentioned, everything this is coming together. This should be just an epic sci-fi film. My only minor concern with this film is that they're splitting it into two parts, which I'm never a fan when they do that. The book is quite long, so it kind of makes sense, but I'd rather just be one long movie. But I think everything will be fine. And also, I'm a huge sci-fi fan, so hopefully this film will just be a new addition to the great catalog of sci-fi films we've had. And I just am so excited to see this film, even if it's coming out at the back end of 2021. All right, and that will do it for my most anticipated movies of 2021. Many of these movies are sure to be delayed, as obviously COVID is still very relevant in the US, unfortunately. But obviously, some of these will be coming to streaming services. All the Warner Bros. Films, like Dune, the DC movies, they're going to be going to HBO Max and streaming, so at least we'll be getting some new movies this year. If I had to guess, I would say Disney's probably going to do the same thing with their movies, with the MCU movies and their original titles, and putting them on Disney Plus, but obviously we'll see. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider hitting the like button, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you next time.